Greetings and love, peace, health, happiness, and prosperity. Hello, beloved. How are you all doing today? Welcome to the nutritional stream. We are going to be learning about healing foods and various disease illnesses. Now, as you all know, I started to be more active with this channel, and I have to confess something. Like, I'm not coming back. When I say I'm not coming back to female health issues. Can't do it. Y'all not ready. Y'all not ready. But I am coming back to teach, as I have left the holistic business and went into a more political realm. I have to admit that in the process of walking away, I got to a moment where I neglected my own health. I'm at confession time. It's confession time. All the things I was supposed to do, I didn't do. I just stopped and I was hospitalized. And at that time when I was hospitalized, I had a very bad staph infection. It was totally my fault. And I started to reflect on accountability, something that is a pet peeve of mine. And I want it to be a pet peeve of yours, where you take accountability for your life, your mindset, what you put in your mouth, what comes out of your mouth, what goes into your head. These things are very important because they go for the overall health aspect of who you are. And so I didn't sit there, and you guys got to be aware of what you think. Like, before you start saying, hey, I wonder if it was, that bad pizza, or no. What did you do? What were the choices that you made that put you in the situation that you are in, to where it's dealing with your health? You have been diagnosed with some kind of illness, or you have been, like I was, hospitalized. Everything I was doing that was keeping me healthy, I stopped. Well, there you have it. And I didn't say, well, sometimes no. I was totally just stopped everything. Okay. Like the constant exercising, the monitoring of what I eat, everything all that stopped. And I totally stopped taking my herbal supplements on a daily basis. So I said, okay, I need to start teaching again so that I can keep this around me, even though I'm not going to come back into the profession no time soon. There's a part of me that probably will do some nutrition consultations, but that's up in the air. But as far as health and women's, coming back into women's health, no, I'm not coming back. Maybe many, many years from now I will. But it's time for me to start teaching the things that I know and that has always been working. And I'm happy to say that ever since I have healed myself, I've gone back to what I was doing. What I usually do before I left, and weight is back to normal. I'm back to my normal weight. Who can say that you still weigh? Here's something I want to test you guys. All right, listen to this. All right, can you still wear the same clothes now that you did in high school or college? That's something I want you to ask yourself. Not if you were the same weight, but can you still fit into the clothes if you went to college, can you still fit into those clothes that you wore in college? If you still have your clothes in high school, say, I don't have any of my clothes left from high school. They're all gone. They're all destroyed. But I have lots of shirts and pants, and two pants from college, saying that I turned into shorts, that I can still fit. And I can always tell if I'm getting unhealthy when I can't fit my clothes anymore. And that is the one level. So I noticed that, okay, I'm going to keep on this path. Doctors have really, you guys know I'm not a fan of medical doctors. And after my stint in the hospital, I'm really not a fan of them. Hospitals are an awful place to be in. They're terrible to be in. And you don't get any healing in these hospitals. And I just stay out of them. And I want to make sure that you learn from my mistakes. So let's start with nutrition. I want you guys to make sure you subscribe to this channel because I'm going to be very active on this channel. I'm going to start having more nutritional streams, fitness streams, wellness streams, herbal streams. I'm also going to make like quick health tip videos. It's time for me to get back into the teaching of what has always been the backbone of my of my existence, and that is health and wellness. So let's go ahead and get started. Before I do that, hold on. I want to tell you guys something. Now, I still have books that are on that are still with Celestial Healing. I still get paid residuals from those books. Okay, these are mine, and Celestial Healing still gets a percentage of it, and I get the rest. And I just realized these books are still, they still apply to this day. Like, and they're all dealing with how to eat. So if you're looking for, like I'm gonna do a video on fasting too. I think I need to do a live stream on fasting and detoxing. So those, and if you want to get these books, you can go to the link in the description box below. These books are very good. And I was looking through a few of them to see if they still mattered. And yeah, these are still good information. It's still good information, these books. So if you're interested, go there to the description box below. All right, so let's go ahead and get started here in the importance of nutrition for different diseases. Now, I want to let you guys know that when everybody thinks about eating and how to eat to live and eating the correct foods for various diseases, you have to stop thinking that eating healthy is a chore. Like who in here in the chat can say, like, press 1 if you think that eating healthy foods like fruits and vegetables, okay, is a chore. Who here think it's like to eating healthy is a chore? Press 1. I'm just curious to see if you don't think it's a chore, press 2. I just want to see where we are. I want to gauge the audience here to see who really thinks of it as eating is a chore. Okay. Okay, so far we see some 2s. Nobody sees. Okay. All right. We on the same page. Okay, cool. So great. This is good. I'm glad to see that. So let's get into the aspect of basically why it's important to eat healthy. And I want you all to understand that food is here to help heal you. It's here to give you energy. It's here to renew you. And granted, yes, you can have certain foods that are not as good for that's not good for you. But if you are going to eat that as an abundance, then that's the problem. So here is a quick, and you might want to take notes, or you just go ahead and bookmark this video, or save it, or share it, or save it to your playlist. And remember this: you can eat perfectly Monday through Friday. And this is just a beginner. This is just a beginner's format. All right. Don't think this is like for advanced people like me. So I'm just going to say for the beginners. For the beginners, Monday through Friday, you are to eat perfectly, as close to perfect as possible. You understand? Monday through Friday. Saturday and Sunday, you are to eat in moderation certain bad foods. Let me give you an example. So from Monday through Friday, say for instance, you'll have smoothie or fruit in the morning, or you'll have oatmeal in the morning, okay? And then you have for lunch, you have we're going to go into some foods I don't want you guys to eat, and I have never been proven wrong. We have this crazy fad now called the carnivore diet. If you want to see yourself deteriorate faster and dye and have a stitch, especially ladies, if you want to have a stitch coming out some certain holes, go ahead and get on that nasty, dangerous carnivore diet and you will regret it. It will take you off this earth sooner than anything. Well, not as soon as than drugs, but it will be that's a very dangerous diet. I cannot believe that diet is people are like really like living up to the diet and bragging about how they eat meat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, no vegetables. And I think because a lot of naturopaths like myself have not been here to check stupidity like that. Now, I guess some people are there to check stupidity, but that's just crazy. So let's just get back to lunch. So for lunch, you'll have either a lot of vegetables with the meat, or you'll have your carbs, no meat. All right. And I'll get into that in a minute. And then now, when I say meats, if you're going to do meat, you guys know I'm against beef, red meat. I'm against red meat, no red meat, and no beef. Okay. Let me explain why. All right. Out of all of the meats and this is coming from somebody who doesn't eat meat. Okay. Out of all the meats that are more harmful to your health and it takes the longest to digest, red meat is at the top of the line. Also, it has a lot of hormones in it. You should never trust red meat from just a regular butcher shop. But I'm against red meat anyway. Okay. It takes longer to go through the intestinal tract, the digestive tract. It takes longer to digest meat. People who eat meat, especially the steaks and the ribs, and I get it. You like, oh, it's so delicious. Fine. All right. But I'm still against it. There's a lot of stuff that's good, that tastes good, that are not good for you. When you eat these red meats, it takes longer and it takes so much of your body's energy to break it down. This is the reason why people who eat steak can't go out there and be active. They got the itis. You heard about that? They got the itis. They have to take a nap, or they're sluggish, or they want to sit down and watch TV after they had a nice slab of ribs, or if they had a big thing of steak. Well, yeah, and it putrefies. One thing about pork and beef, especially pork, where it has a lot of worms in it, it deteriorates so bad. That's a scavenger meat. Pigs are meant to be the trash cans of the world. Why would you eat why would you eat an animal trash can? I don't understand that. Why would you do that? Okay? A pig will eat anything. And if you're going to eat meat, why not eat a herbivore animal? An animal that deals with eating food that are full of nutrition, like grass, vegetation of the earth. But with a pig, it eats anything. Cows are bigger than humans. And a pig can get bigger than a human. But like I said, a pig is basically the trash can of the earth, full of trach worms, bacteria, just maggots, everything. It's just such a bad meat to consume. When it comes to the cows, you should never, ever, 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 ever eat the flesh of an animal that's bigger than you. Hence why I will always be against cow milk. Cow's milk is for calves, not humans. And if you were to say, if someone was to offer you a mother's milk from her breast and you go, ew, well, you came from a woman. But you look at a cow udder and go, can't wait. That makes no sense. The enzymes and the hormones within this milk, it's to turn something that's like 60 pounds giving birth, to a calf into a 200 or 400 pound, maybe even more. I could be underestimating that, like 400, 600 pound cow. So you will never see me be on the side of, yes, you can drink milk as long as it's raw. No, absolutely not. If you're going to drink any kind of animal milk, you should go for a goat. Why? Goats are smaller than humans. And, true story, goat milk has the equivalent and close ties to breast milk. I remember when I was active in the nutrition, and I would actually do house calls. It was very expensive to get me to come to your house, but some people will pay for it. And there was an African couple living way up there in North Cross somewhere. Nice house. Wanted me to come and look at their baby. I look at the baby. The baby had all kinds of bumps on his face, and the little tiny tongue is white, just covered with all kind of white mucus and a white coating. And then I said, "Did you change the baby?" She's like, "Yes." And I said, "Okay, how bad is the smell of his diaper?" And they're like, "Who is really bad?" I said, "What are you giving this baby?" And so they showed me the formula where it was given the baby. And then they also showed basically half and half milk. I said, "Why are you giving?" First of all, I was against the formula. Then I looked at the half and half milk. I said, "Why are you giving this baby half and half milk?" And I looked at her breasts. I said, and I pointed to them, "Why aren't you feeding these to your baby?" And of course, Black women, sorry, you can't have it all. You can't sit up here and have a wonderful career and be a good mother. You're going to have to make a decision. And because she has to go to work after a month of giving birth to her baby, and she doesn't have to. That's the thing. She doesn't have to. She's a marketer, but she's so addicted to the power of her job that she found that to be more of a priority than her baby. And so her husband was there to tell on her. He said she doesn't have to go to work, but she just insists on going to work. So she dried up her breast milk. Now I gave her the side eye. And I said, "First of all, give me that formula." I took and I dumped it in the trash. And she's holding her baby like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I took that milk, I dumped that down the freaking sink. I said, "You want to kill your baby, keep giving him this." I said, "Shame on you. Shame on you for not breastfeeding your baby. Because how do you expect this baby to build up an immune system? Okay? How do you expect the baby to build up an immune system if you are going to dry up the very thing that will feed it its immune system? The first 6 months of a baby, the birth of a baby, the baby needs to breastfeed from the mother to build up its immune system. This is a must. This is a necessity. So anyway, there was nothing we could do except for possibly getting her sister to be the wet nurse. And there are certain herbs. I'll probably go into a more of advanced level of herbology. But because, the sister lives in the house, we were able to, it took a couple of weeks, but we finally got her to lactate the sister with herbs, since the stupid mother was so adamant about basically working. But until then, I said, we're going to have to use 2 parts carrot juice and 1 part goat's milk. Or goat's milk, if you're going to use goat milk, you're going to have 1 part goat's milk, 1 part water. And then you can feed that to the baby. And then I said, now we're going to need some acidophilus powder. And feed it to the baby, not the capsules. To open up the capsules, put the acidophilus powder in there, and just feed it to the baby. The baby just ate it up. The baby was loving it. And this is what I'm showing you, especially those of you who are heavily melanated. Our bodies are not designed to consume milk from cows. And if you feel the need, there is no necessary need, there's no nutritional need that you have to drink milk from a fat cow or any animal. And if you just feel that need for it, then just get human milk. I know they don't sell it, but still, you're gonna have to get human milk. Okay, so I'm gonna get some milk. So getting back to the meats where you're not supposed to consume the meats. So we have those two things where they're very detrimental to the body. So now let's see the meats that I'm okay with, but I'm still not okay with them. Okay, me personally. Let's go to chicken. If you have to do chicken, then of course I'm going to say hormone-free chicken. Don't get caught up in the notion that, okay, if it says free-range chicken, then it's hormone-free. No, 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 no. See, the way that the government is set up right now, you can have chickens all over the place, but they can roam in a nice square area, and they can consider that legally free range, but they still can give the chicken a lot of antibiotics. Feed them antibiotics through the chicken feed. They can still give them hormones through those feeds, and this in itself will basically cause the chicken to have that in its fiber and its meat, and you're going to consume that. Women, you should stay away from chicken. And if you need to get chicken, you should get the hormone-free chicken, because these are the things that are going to cause abnormal growths in your body, from cysts to tumors, like fibroid tumors, okay, to lumps, to messing up your menstrual cycle, I can go on and on. But these are the things you should leave it alone. And if you have to do chicken, like I said, hormone-free chicken, the same thing with turkey. And I think one of the meats I will probably give a pass to is freshwater fish. If you have to consume it, we're dealing with the meat department. If you have to consume anything dealing with meat, I am going to say, sure, consume your wild caught salmon, not farm raised, wild caught salmon. Deal with your sardines. As a matter of fact, hold on, I got a list here. I can actually go over because I'm not the person that will deal with a lot of these meats here. So let's see. Let's see the fish. Okay, here we go. So we're talking about all wild caught fish, but I'm against the scavengers like your the crabs and the lobsters, scallops, oysters, and shrimp. These things are actually more scavenger. They don't really eat the vegetation. You want to go for, if you're going to do fish, you want to go for fish that will basically eat the sea vegetation. So you have that in mind. And of course, that's basically it when it comes to the fish. So I will actually be more lenient against that. And you can live off of that type of diet. So then you have that in for lunch. And then here's the key with dinner. Y'all ready? This is going to be hard for many of you because a lot of you all are night owls, or you like to have the nightlife, or you're out partying, or you're out with social events. But eating at night when the sun goes down is a no-no. You're not supposed to do that. Why? Because your digestive system is taking a rest. I want you to consider your bodies, put your body in the line of the universe, of Mother Earth. Think about the daytime. When the sun begins to rise, you hear the birds chirping. The flowers are slowly blooming and opening up. You start to see the animals come out, to the squirrels looking for nuts, and the deers is out there, eating on the grass. You see nature become alive. Well, that's the same thing with your metabolism. When you wake up in the morning, those of you who do wake up in the morning, your metabolism is coming alive. Okay? This is when it's like starting a car. You don't get into the car, we're in such a different age. I've been saying this metaphor for so long I have to change it, because now you can just actually push a button in a car that's electric and you can actually leave. But once upon a time, you couldn't do that. You had to actually put the keys into the car, crank it up, and let it warm up before you drive it off the lot or drive it off your driveway. Okay? I know today's different, but that's what you used to do. I need you to think about your digestive system as that. Something where you have to crank it up first. How do you crank it up? Well, there's two ways of doing that. One, water. Water, 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 water. Now, if you are the kind of person who hates water, you're going to be in trouble as you get older. You need water. Your body the blood that goes through your veins is well over 75% of water. You need water. Now, if you're the kind of person who can't deal with water, you better learn how to get out of that stage. But to help you along the way, you can basically put a little lemon juice in your water. Fresh lemon, not the concentrated lemon that you see in those plastic lemon containers. Don't do those. Get a real lemon, organic, or you can get a lime that's organic. Cut a wedge out of it and then squeeze it in there so you can have a little taste to your water. Or you can do, I don't want to get into the fruit infused water, because I don't want your body to start digesting these differently than water. See, when you start adding all these, like the strawberries and the blueberries, into a fruit-induced water, your body is going to metabolize that. It's going to digest that differently than water. For example, this is the best analogy I can use. All right. When you take a shower, do you want your water to be infused with strawberry juice? You want to take a shower in lemon water? I mean, come on, like seriously? You don't want this in your water, beloved. You want to actually have just plain water when you take a bath and when you take a shower. You don't want wanting lemon juice on your skin when you come out. Okay? This is what you got to understand. And so I want you guys to understand that the water is here to cleanse you. You need it. Okay? You need the water. And if you want to drink something else besides the water, that's fine. So here's something. I'm serious. Listen to me, because I'm a heavy water drinker. Very heavy water drinker. You're gonna have to train yourself to start loving water. Now, if you're the kind of person who can't deal with water, then you drink the water first. And I suggest anywhere from 10 ounces to 16 ounces. It just depends on your height. Okay. It depends on your height and your weight. All right. Me, I can knock out a 16 ounces of water in the morning easily. Then if I want to tickle my palate, sure, then I'll do a smoothie, or I'll do a herbal tea of whatever kind. Don't deal with coffee. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Don't deal with coffee. Okay. Don't deal with these sodas, whatever. Do that. So when you wake up in the morning, that's how you actually rev up your metabolism with that. Take your herbs with your water. And then with breakfast, now I have to admit, guys, beloved, I have changed. I used to do 3 meals a day. Now I have gotten to the point in my life, after I got sick, I am strictly 1 meal a day. And my life is so great because of that. But for those of you who don't do one meal a day, if you do a breakfast, remember, breakfast means break a fast. You're breaking a fast. You don't break your fast with heavy foods. You break your fast with foods that are going to come into the stomach and move out. When it comes to fruits, let's talk about some. Let me move on to the presentation here. When it comes to fruits, you should be able to deal with foods. Hold on. You should be able to deal with foods that are going to digest quickly into your stomach. So let's look at a variety of examples. I have here an example of an actual real diet, and I have it listed here is bad, meh, and good. All right, so let's look at the bad list here. Remember, I said break a fast. Breakfast is breaking a fast. You don't break a fast with heavy meats, foods, or anything like that. You always break it with a fruit of some kind. Now, those of you, I think I probably will do a fasting video, a fasting seminar, because this is the time we're in March. This is a time to start getting into your fasting. I'm against fasting in the winter season and the fall season. No, 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 no. That's not when you start fasting on a long period of time. You can do a 1-day fast or maybe even a 2-day fast, but to just go through 21 days or a 30-day fast, not during the winter and not during the fall, unless you stay in a climate, okay, that is tropical. There we go. Unless you stay in a tropical climate. So let's look at the bad list here. So we have breakfast, bacon and eggs, hash brown potato. Oh, this reading this makes my stomach hurt. Toast with jam or butter, coffee, and cream. So let's start off with the bacon and eggs. Okay. Say no to pork. Just don't do it. That I'm never going to give a pass to this ever. I'm just going to go no, never, no, no. Say no to bacon, of pork of any kind. I will never co-sign that. Now, when it comes to eggs, I have to admit, like you guys, some of you guys love your eggs. I guess I'm on the fence with it right now. As long as it's not eggs from, it has to be hormone-free eggs. Hormone-free eggs that are high in omega-3s. Okay? Very important. Then we have the hash browns. Well, hash browns are fried. Hash browns is a starch. So you're mixing that starch with that nasty bacon. Okay, you're going to have some digestive issues there. And I'll deal with food combination later on, but just take my word for it right now. This is the worst thing you can actually put on your stomach. Eating a breakfast like this is going to make you lethargic. It's going to make you're going to be really like low energy. And this is the reason why people are heavy on coffee, is because they're eating a heavy breakfast like this. This is why, I cannot tell you that the biggest battle I have been dealing with when it comes to women's health is their need to consume coffee. And the only reason they need to consume coffee is because of the heavy intake of food that they have for breakfast. So this right here is not going to give you energy. It's not going to give you any stamina whatsoever. It's actually going to give you a you're going to have low energy. You're not going to think as high. It's just not good for you. And this is the reason why people are going to you're going to go to stimulants like coffee or a Monster drink or the Red Bull, Now, the second thing is snacks. I don't know how people can eat all that food for breakfast and then all of a sudden they want a snack. So then you eat this sugary pastry with a coffee. So now you have two stimulants here. You have sugar and you have caffeine. These two things are absolutely detrimental to your health. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because here it is. One of the things that about the pastries that are high in sugar, this is going to spike up your insulin. Then not to mention that the coffee with the caffeine. So then you have this high and then you crash, right? You crash down. So now you're like have fog brain. And if you want to stop these things, what I recommend is that we'll move on to, you can see it in a good thing, but you have to lighten up that breakfast. Now let's look at lunch. Lunch meat, did you know there's a study that went out that showed that lunch meat has been known to be one of the top cancer causing agents as far as food is concerned, especially hot dogs. Hot dogs has been shown studies after studies after studies that it causes colon cancer. How many times we have seen the recall of hamburgers or the recall of all of these type of unidentified meat. Now, if you understand how meat is produced, you'd have no idea where these quote unquote lunch meat come from. What part of, let me ask you guys something. Let me look at the chat. Let me ask you all something. What part of the body of a cow or a pig does bologna come from? You can't guess it, can you? Right. Because there you go, Miss Darkstar. All parts. It comes from all parts. This is the thing. This is what they do with the meat of animals. We'll use the cow. Okay? We'll use the cow. So they have to take the prime meat of it, and what they do is they take the prime stuff out. They take the liver of the cow out. They take the ribs, because you know how you're going to have your barbecue ribs, you know what I'm saying? They take all the stuff that's identifiable meat. The other stuff that's not identifiable, okay, like the tongue. No. They actually sell cow tongues as is. Let me take that back. So they take the brain of the cow, the eyeballs of the cow, the esophagus of the cow, all of the other parts of the cow, okay? The uterus of the cow. They take all of this, they grind it up, add some chemicals to it, and a whole lot of sodium to prevent that meat from putrefying and rotting. And this is the reason why all meats are high in sodium, because sodium is basically what you call it, an embalming fluid, what I consider it to be. It actually preserved the state of the meat to look like it appears to be healthy, but it's not. This is the worst thing you can feed yourself and your children. Do not do that. So stay away from unidentified meats. Potato chips, this is the most addictive thing that a lot of people have. First of all, I will never stop going against HMO. For some reason, since I've been gone, people have been embracing HMOs. I can't even tell you, in the political realm that I am in, I talk to so many people who are like, well, HMOs are not bad. Oh, no, what the hell are you talking about? They all are bad. And then they try to conflate, okay, hybrids with HMOs that consist with big, Monsanto, and Monsanto changed their name to where basically that they're saying that the Roundup and having these Frankenstein foods is good for you, and then they'll sit up here and say some stupid mess like, well, it feeds the people in Africa. I'm not in Africa, I'm in America. I can afford a healthy diet, a diet that's high in nutrients. And how is it that we have found it acceptable to consume foods that the seeds can't even be replenished or replanted and harvested into something else? And so everything has changed since I left, and I came back and everybody's gone crazy. You eat, like, GMO foods are now considered to be safe. That's BS. But anyway, I can go on. Oh, that's a hot spot for me. I was like, I cannot believe I'm arguing with people about GMO. And you know what? You know the way that I can actually just kill someone's argument about GMO foods? I'll say, if My grandmother didn't live off GMO foods and fed it to my mother and my father, then why should I live off of it? If my ancestors did not use or plant or eat GMO foods, why should I consume it? What's the difference here? And then of course they'll deflect and they'll go into whataboutism and they'll just say, well, studies have showed. I don't care about studies. You can make a study show in your favor. I just go by common sense. But anyway, the potatoes and the potato chips are going to be, unless it says unless you're going to see that seal that says organic. If you see this, or it says non-GMO, that's the only way you're going to know that those chips came from a non-GMO potato. Okay. Now, so I understand that you guys, there's some people who are addicted to chips, and let me tell you why you are addicted to chips. It's not that the chips are so delicious. You know why you're really addicted to chips? It's because the crunchiness inside your mouth is actually soothing to your brain. I kid you not. That sounds crazy, that crunching on chips or crunching on ice, crunching on anything is soothing to the brain. It is. A lot of people have a lot of stuff going on in their head, and a lot of times they're so stressed out that they need something that's going to actually relax them. Believe it or not, I saw a scientific explanation for why that is, and I am not going to do it any justice. I'm just going to have to find that video to play it out to you guys. But it's something about the crunchiness. It's something about that crunchiness inside your mouth. That sensation and that sound tends to relax you, especially if you are stressed or if you're high strung or if you need something to distract you while you're watching something on TV or you're watching something on your monitor on that. These are a lot of things that actually soothe you. And ice can be considered one of the things. A lot of people used to think that, oh, if you crave ice, you're low in iron. No, that's not true. I find that a lot of women who love to eat ice, although women in general are low in iron and a lot of them are anemic, that's irrelevant to why they choose to chew ice. A lot of times they choose to chew ice because of their stress levels. These are facts. Let's go to the sodas, okay? I am against sodas. I am against all of them. They're in high fructose corn syrup. I have very old videos. I saw a very old video on this channel that I made a long time ago explaining the harmful effects of high fruit corn syrup. And this is something for diabetics. You should never, ever, ever, ever deal with anything dealing with high fructose corn syrup. Never. All of the videos I have made on this channel are still relevant. And I guess that's why I came back to this channel, because I'm like, man, this channel's still growing. I have abandoned this channel and it's still growing. And I said, okay, well, this is going to be a benefit for me to keep myself healthy so I don't ever have to find myself in the hospital again. But also to pass on the knowledge. Let me be active with this channel again and start teaching again. Okay, giving presentations again. And you all should really go back into the archives of this channel and look at a lot of educational videos, especially the one on high fructose corn syrup. But sodas are just that thing. It's just nothing but sugar and water. But sugar as mass as the high fructose corn syrup. Now, dinner. We already know how I feel about beef, so I don't even have to go in that. I already know about how I feel about baked potatoes. So I already told you about the HMO with that, and then with the butter. And I'm against butter from the cow. If you have to have butter, then use olive oil butter or I have to. Somebody asked me about ghee. Ghee. I have never had ghee, and I never really researched ghee because it's an animal product. So for somebody who's a vegan, I don't deal with that. But I have to research it and go into it. So I don't have an answer for you all in reference to the ghee. Now, canned or frozen vegetables. Now, there's a difference between a canned and a frozen. I am not against frozen vegetables. Believe it or not, I am not against frozen vegetables. Frozen vegetables have its place if you are lazy or if you're the kind of person who just don't know how to cook and don't know how to prepare your vegetables. But I'm against all canned vegetables. Leave canned vegetables alone. Leave them alone. You should never want to, unless we're going through an apocalypse, which I don't see ever happening. Okay? There's no need for you to have canned vegetables. It is very low in nutrients. Okay? These things are embalmed, for lack of better words, in an aluminum can. An aluminum can. Aluminum has will have side effects on your brain, have these deposits in your brain, and is actually just very detrimental to your health. So you don't want to eat anything out of a can, period, under any circumstances. Unless you in a bunker 50 feet below the earth, thinking that we're in a nuclear war, okay, you get a pass. Because you're not eating to live. You're not eating for nutritional value. You eating to stay alive. But we're not in that phase right now, so leave canned anything alone. Now, when it comes to the frozen vegetables, I'm not against those. However, for those of you who know how to prepare your vegetables, stop being lazy, learn to get off of the frozen vegetables and start preparing your vegetables fresh. This is where I'm always going to go fresh. But if you are, like I said, if you're lazy, get out of that laziness. If you're the kind of person who needs to basically, you want to be able to use the vegetables, but you're uncertain on how to prepare them or how to prep them, how to clean them, how to cut them, I'll give you a pass. But this is something you need to have as a tricycle, and then take those things off and start riding your bike on two wheels. Now let's go to the middle one where it says meh. Okay. Granola and yogurt and green tea. Some of you might think this is a good thing. This is a good breakfast. And absolutely, this is better than the quote unquote bad breakfast. Way better. But I am against the yogurt unless it's a Greek yogurt, and the Greek yogurt cannot have any fruit fillings in it, because the fruit fillings will more likely be high fructose corn syrup fruit. And it's definitely going to be high in sugar. So I'm against that in the morning. So if you're going to have the granola with a Greek yogurt, sure. But let me tell you what I'm against. I'm against that green tea. Why am I against that green tea? Because it's caffeinated. I have never been an advocate. If you all can look at any of my books, any of my past seminars, any of my past videos, I have always been against green tea. You don't need it. This was something that was instrumented by doctors to get you guys, hooked on caffeine. Green tea was never delicious. You heard me all say this story before. When I was in college at Fort Valley State, and I needed to stay up in a study hall and a study group so we can cram for a test, there was three things we could take. No-dos, okay, which you get from a pharmacy or any kind of place that sells aspirin. Now, I don't know if they still sell that today, but when I was in college, it was easy to get some no-dos. Actually, you could get it from when I was in college, you could get it from the gas station that sell food. The second thing was ephedra. Now, they outlawed ephedra. Ephedra is very effective, and it was too effective to where you had dumb people taking it. Like a couple people died from ephedra because it was working so well, but they were, would take it and like I think the last person died from it was some stupid football player who took it, didn't drink any water, and he went out there in the heat. He already had some heart problems, and he had died of a heart attack right there on on the field. So because of that, that's the reason why they banned it permanently. I miss the ephedra. If I could get my hands on natural ephedra again, I would in a heartbeat. But now they outlawed it. Now, and the third thing you can get is green tea. Green tea was disgusting. Green tea was basically was something that was going to keep you up, and it was something that was very effective, but it was very, 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 very bitter. And then when I noticed during my practice that they were promoting green tea, I said, ew, for real? And people were like, oh, it's so delicious. Now, let me tell you something. Listen to me. Don't you ever forget this, ever. If a medical doctor says, green tea is great, I highly recommend it, you better stay far away from that crap as possible. Once again, if medical doctors in the thousands are promoting green tea, are okaying green tea, are actually suggesting green tea, stay away from it. I have never co-signed green tea. I've never been on the side of green tea. And I have been in debates where I have verbally destroyed any health professional who just said that green tea is the best thing to drink, is one of the best things to drink. And I have destroyed them with the fact is, first of all, green tea is very low in nutrients. It's high in caffeine. What the hell is it going to do for you? And please spare me the antioxidants. Do you know you can eat, here's some more facts. Do you know that 3 cherries, just 3 cherries, have 3 times as much antioxidants than 1 cup of green tea? So that means if you want to if you want the equivalence of an antioxidants in the green tea, you just have to eat 1 cherry. 1 cherry! One! Fact check me. But you know what? You don't see doctors promoting cherries, do you? You know why? Because cherries are one of the fruits that helps reverse cancer. And the Medical Institute, let me see if I can find it for you all. Hold on a second. I'm going to find that. I'm going to fact check myself. I know I've seen it, unless they took it off, right? Let's see if I can find it here for you all. Okay, let's see. Medical study, cherries, reverse cancer. Let's see if we can find it. Oh, yeah, the American Institute for Cancer Research. Let's see. All right, let me see if I can show you guys all this. Let me put this up here. Where am I? All right. So this is the American Institute for Cancer Research, okay? And they have detected that cherries, okay, has, basically has been very good in eliminating cancer. So, and what happened was, you don't see, cancer is a money making disease, just like AIDS, just like anything else. And so basically, these are the things that are helping you. But do you see the doctors promoting cherries? Now, there's something else we want to talk about when we start talking about cherries too. I know I'm just going on and on, guys. I want to hurry up and get through this so we can talk about certain foods that you need to eat and not eat. But okay, let's hold off on the cherries, because I want to talk about those cherries and other fruits as well. Okay, so you have to understand that green tea is something you need to stay away from. Okay, I would never promote it. I am against it. Just no. All right. So let's see. Well, we have protein bars. This junk has got a lot of sugar in it. And of course, we already know about coffee with the cream. You already know how I feel about coffee. So then we get to the lunch where we have veggies and cheese. Cheese is very mucus forming. You can always tell when somebody, listen, I'm going to tell you something. Whenever I hear someone talking and I hear them sniffling. Like if you have allergies, it's different. But you hear people, it's hard to explain, and I can't even mimic it. But I can always tell when someone has a lot of mucus in their system, and I can always tell when someone is a heavy dairy eater because they make this noise like they're snorting, but it doesn't sound like it, I'm not doing a good will. Anyway, cheese is really, I know cheese is addicting, but like I told you guys, for you guys who are beginners, Monday through Friday, remember, Monday through Friday, eat perfectly, Monday through Friday. Saturday and Sunday, you can eat your bad, quote unquote, bad foods in moderation. You don't binge on it. Those of us who have been living a healthy lifestyle, we must eat like myself perfectly from my perfect time eating is Sunday through Friday. And on Saturday, here's the thing, whereas you have the beginners eat Saturday and Sunday and the entire day in moderation, for somebody like myself who is a very strict, you get back into eating strictly. Sunday through Friday, I eat strictly well. There's no cheating whatsoever. And on Saturday, I don't have that entire day to eat crazy. Because I only eat one meal a day, that one meal is whatever I want. And you know what it is? It's always some pancakes I make. I make my own pancakes. For some reason, I got to the point where I don't like other people's pancakes. But I make my own gluten-free pancakes. And I use the grade B maple syrup with it, with olive oil butter. And that's it. But let's say, for instance, if you're not eating the one meal a day, then you can only have one meal where you eat anything you want. So let's say, for instance, if I'm doing a one meal a day. Let's say, for instance, you're doing 3 meals a day. Well, then you have to decide which one of those 3 meals on that one particular day is the meal that you're going to eat anything you want. So let's say, for instance, you decided it's going to be lunch. That one day you're going to eat anything you want. So Monday, you want to have your smoothie or your fruit, or you're going to have your nice carbs, which is your oatmeal, your muesli. All right. You're going to have that in the morning. And then say, for instance, for lunch, you have anything you want. You want some chicken? You want to eat some pork chops, which I told you, under any circumstances, I'm against that. But hey, you get this one free meal. You can do it, whatever you want. I'm against it, but whatever. You want to have your pizza? You want to have cake? You want to have the donuts? You want some McDonald's? Have anything you want for lunch. Anything you want. And then for dinner, you go back to your disciplined diet. You see what I'm saying? You go back to a sensible meal. Now, a lot of times, some people have eaten so much during that lunch that they find that they're not hungry for your dinner. What do? You don't eat. Just drink water. If you're not hungry because you overdid it for lunch, you go ahead and you drink water, or you have some kind of vegetable juice, or you juice something, like you juice some carrots or some spinach or something like that, to make sure you still get some nutrients because you have filled your body up with all that junk for lunch. Okay? All right. Jeez, I'm going over. It's like, guys, I have so much in my head. I want to just make sure I teach it to you all. All right. So then we have with the grain there. All right. On whole grain bread. That's fine. As far as the gluten-free and then gluten bread, if you are allergic to gluten, then stay away from it. If you find that you gain weight because of gluten, get away from it. Some people don't have any effects to gluten. If you do have effects to gluten, then stay away from it and use gluten-free breads and things of that nature. All right. So you have the small salad with ranch dressing. Ranch dressing have to go. What kind of small salad? It depends. Never use iceberg lettuce. Iceberg lettuce is a waste of time. You want to make sure your greens are green. You want to go for romaine lettuce. You want to go for your spinach. You want to go for your wild greens. Make sure there's some color to your greens, okay? And iceberg lettuce is just like, what is this? Nothing but mostly white. It's very deficient of any nutrients. That's why I hate Caesar salad. Like, what the hell is this? Caesar salad is nothing but a bunch of iceberg lettuce with no nutrients in it, okay? It sure has a lot of water in it, but it shows not. Leave it alone. Don't deal with iceberg lettuce. Make sure your greens have some color to it. Also, you want to add a variety of vegetables to your salad. You want to add your shredded carrots. You want to add your olives. You want to add your onions. You want to add cucumbers. Oh my God, I love cucumbers. I love cucumbers. I cannot have a salad without cucumbers, and cucumbers are very healing for you. They're underrated. Sometimes I do. You know what I'm gonna do too? I think I'm gonna start focusing on a fruit or a vegetable a day. Oh, that's a good idea. I think I'm gonna write that down. Y'all, excuse me for a second. That's a good thing. Is I have a fruit or a veggie of the day video, because you have no idea how much I'm in love with cucumbers. You have no idea. Okay, so the ranch dressing is just doo-doo. Don't deal with no ranch dressing. That's just garbage dressing. I am more for your vinaigrette dressings. Okay, you can make your own dressings as well. There's a lot of ways of making your own dressings, and you can do that yourself. Just go. I have some cookbooks that have your dressing, especially if you buy the online book. For fibroids, I give actually recipes on certain types of dressings on how you can make it. Of course, I'm gonna be against the iced tea. Why am I against the iced tea? Caffeine. Yes. Ladies, you out of all people should stay away from caffeinated drinks, because it is going to basically harm your thyroids. Your thyroid is actually the captain of the metabolism ship, okay? If your thyroid is becoming hypo, you're going to gain weight just by walking by a Dunkin' Donuts, okay, or Krispy Kreme. Heaven forbid if that red light on is, woo, Krispy Kreme is crack donuts. But anyway, you're going to gain weight. So you need to make sure you stay away from caffeine. It's not going to do anything detrimental to your thyroid, all right? Now, here we got the dinner. Canned chili. What did I say? Anything with canned chili or veggie stew? No, stay away from canned anything. All right. And then we have this stupid thing on the milk. That's stupid. I would never even consider that a meh. Stay away from cow's milk. Cow's milk is meant for calves. You know what I'm saying? You are human. If you're not going to drink any human milk, just leave it alone. You don't need it. Now, here we go on the good side. Green smoothies. You could do a green smoothie, or you can do or regular juice. Now, what is considered a green smoothie? Well, a green smoothie consists of any type of spinach. I'm going to just say spinach. I just want you guys to keep it simple and not confuse it with anything. Don't use arugula. That stuff is so bitter. Just stick with spinach. Put some spinach in your smoothie. It won't mess up the taste. And then you can have your two fruits in there with it, like bananas or strawberries, or mangoes and blueberries. Oh, it's so freaking delicious. Or you could just juice up some carrots and spinach. There's actually a lot of fruit and juice smoothies on Celestial Healing Wellness Center. I put it there. It's still there. So go over there and check it. Here we have the snacks. Now, fresh fruits and vegetables. To me, this is too much eating as far as I'm concerned, but some people need this. So if you feel the need, you need to work on lessening all this food. I don't see the need for a snack in between breakfast and lunch. You guys eat too much food as it is. Okay. So if you feel the need to have it, then you have a more of a fresh fruit or a veggie sticks and hummus. More of a veggie sticks and hummus. Never mix fruit with other foods. Always eat fruit on an empty stomach by itself. Don't eat fruit with other things. Don't ever combine fruit with other meals. Here we go with the lunch. We got the big salad with lots of raw vegetables. I need you guys to eat more raw vegetables than possible. If you can have your meats, remember hormone-free chicken, okay, with your non-scavenger fish. Same thing with the turkey. You know, you have to do those type of meats like that. Or if you're going to eat goat is smaller than you, so you can do that. I see a lot of people from the Caribbean eating goat meat, so I totally get it. So, you know, you're going to eat that, but you have to have 2 to 3 times more vegetables than your meat if you're going to eat it this way. And then for dinner, homemade baked beans, okay? Veggie. Here's the thing with the baked beans. Some people don't know how to cook them. I am more, if you want to know what type of beans I support, I love navy beans. I love black beans are going to be the top of the list. I'm sorry. They just are. Okay. So you got the pinto beans. Those are really good. So these are the type of beans you have to learn how to cook. I suggest I'm not much of a bean eater. So I'm the worst one, but I have had it in my recipes, and my books. So you can just go online to see how you can properly, because there's a method to the beans. You just don't take beans and put them in a pot and cook them. No, there's a process to them. You have to soak them. You guys know how it is. But if you don't want to do that, that's just an example of a decent dinner, because these are good for people who have colon problems. And baked beans, if you're diabetic, listen to me. If you know someone who is diabetic, baked beans are going to be their best friends. I promise you, they should love beans. Beans are so good for your pancreas. It's so good for your metabolism. It's so good for your digestive system if you are diabetic. Okay. Same thing with vegetables. And then you steam your greens. If you can't eat them so raw, then you can go ahead and steam them. I am for steaming of your vegetables if you can't eat them raw for some whatever reason. You want them to have a certain type of softness to them, but I need you to make sure you don't steam them to the point where they have no crunch whatsoever. They're just limpy and whatever. You don't want it to be like that. Okay. All right. So let's move on to, hold on, guys. All right. The bad foods. I said it before and I'll say it again. If you are a beginner and you say, I can't live without my potato chips. I need my GMO French fry from McDonald's. And what about my okay, fine. Listen. Life is for living. What is going on in the world right now is that we are consuming more of these types of foods instead of these types of foods. That's what the problem is today. You are making these foods your abundance and these foods in moderation. That's so backwards. What's wrong with you guys? This is not supposed to be, you're not supposed to eat this in moderation. You're supposed to eat this. Actually, you're not supposed to eat this stuff in moderation either. You're supposed to eat these things like on occasions. Now, what I say again, for those of us who've been doing this lifestyle for a while, you eat whatever you want, 1 meal a week. 1 meal a week. And if you're the type of person who eats 1 meal a day, then I'm sorry, that's just going to be your 1 meal. But if you eat 3 meals a day or 2 meals a day, one of those 3 meals on that one day during the week, or one of those two meals of that one day a week can be anything within this picture and then some. And then some. You can have your sodas, you can have your ice cream, you can have your candy and cookies and all this other stuff. But I'm going to tell you a secret. I'm going to tell you some good news. Once you get your acidophilus levels and the friendly bacteria in your stomach to exceed a certain level, you're going to look at this stuff and go, ew. You're not going to want any of these things. I can easily eat some cake or I can have some donuts or whatever on that one particular day, which was yesterday. But all I want is pancakes. I have no desire for anything sweet because of all the antibiotics they gave me in the hospital. I came out and I mean the first day I had sent a friend of mine to go and get me a whole thing of acidophilus, and I started taking that stuff like it was candy. I was not playing, and now I have no taste. I have no taste for sugar stuff. And if you ever want to know why your toenails are turning different colors, if you want to know why the coating in your tongue are very white, if you want to know why you're having flaky dandruff, this is from too much yeast. This is the bad bacteria, the overgrowth of that has far exceed what is supposed to, its limits within your colon. This is a bad thing. And if you want to decrease that, first you must eliminate foods that will feed bad bacteria. Okay. And then you have to start eating healthy foods, which is that sounds like another class I'm going to have to do as far as what you can eat to get rid of yeast and any kind of, and to decrease the bacteria in your stomach. But like I said, you can eat these things. You just have to have them seldomly, and that is for those of us, and those of you who are eating, like if you're a beginner and you're eating perfectly Monday through Friday, but you don't have the mentality or the self-discipline to do it on once a week, then understand that when you do this in moderation, emphasis on the moderation on Saturday and Sunday, your goal is to move to where I am today. That is what your goal is. Your goal is to move it to right there where it is now today. You understand that these are the foods that have been created. These are the foods that are made to keep us alive and healthy and disease free. These are the foods that will replenish you. Stop trying to pop pills because you're deficient in your diet. That is a no. And I am against that. Okay. You shouldn't have to deal with that. This is the thing and it's in moderate, you can slowly build up. I am against you all going to the route of, hey, I'm going to eat this way. I'm going to go immediately into veganism. And you don't wean yourself into it. If you've been eating meat all your life, you have to wean yourself into veganism. Okay. You have to start slowly bringing this into your body while also taking supplementation like your spirulina, like your kelp, and like everything else. Let me also go over certain foods, give you guys a list here of foods you need to have to consume. So hold on. Before I get into that, because that's going to be the finale of this, I need you to understand this. This is so important. This is so important. Eating foods in season. So now I'm going to tell you some foods that are very good for you. But I have always been a stickler. I've been always, a stickler of eating foods that are in season. Okay. You will never catch me eating a watermelon during the winter season. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't touch no watermelon now. Why? I'm not going to eat watermelon or any kind of fruit that's out of season unless I'm in a tropical place where watermelon is growing all year round. I shouldn't eat it even though I'm in America. And I don't care if these foods were basically in season in that country. You're not in that country. If I'm in Jamaica, there's certain things I will eat because I'm there in Jamaica. My body has adjusted to that climate and that time zone. But if I'm in America, in Georgia, I am not going to touch it. So these are the foods you have to stay away from. So let me also explain. Let me look at this chart for a second and explain some things. Like, let's look at the winter season. Okay. Here you have apples. Notice how apples are in full season for the fall and winter. You want to know why? They have this saying that says, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Okay. Those of you who are Generation Z, you probably like, what? I never heard it before. Yes, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Why? Because apples are very nutritionally based fruits. And because the fall is where the sun goes down, you're not as active as you used to be outside. You're not getting the vitamin D from the sun. You're not actually, you're staying indoors for a certain amount of time. Your immune system is going to actually decrease, and it's going to be you're going to be more receptive to colds. And this is the reason why people are always pushing that stupid flu shot. I am totally against it. You don't need it. If I've never got the flu shot, never, and I never will. You're not going to get me hooked up to that stuff. But if you eat these fruits that are your natural flu fighters, you don't have to worry about taking pharmaceutical drugs and pharmaceutical shots. But does that mean you can't eat the apples throughout the entire year? No, it does not mean that. There are certain apples. Do you know there's several strains to apples? Certain apples do grow in the spring and the summer. You have to find out what apples you are buying, what type of apples. I don't want to make it too complicated to you, so I'm going to move on. I don't want to make it so complicated for you. But for those of you, maybe that's going to be an advanced class in the future. But I'm not saying you can't eat apples all year round. There's different types of apples that are in season at different stages of the year. It's not like the same old apples. But one of the big, I just don't deal with the watermelon. You'll never catch me eating watermelon during the fall, definitely not during the winter or the spring. But when summer comes, I gorge on watermelons. They're bigger. Miss Darkstar said it's over 100 varieties. There we go. See what I'm saying? There's so many different apples. So I don't want you to think that you can't have apples all year around. You can. You just have to eat the right variety. And I'll just have to go into that later on a daily basis. I did not know it was over 100 of them. Okay. I worked for Mott's. Oh, that's the reason. All right. So now let me go over my notes and tell you guys the different types of fruits I want you to, and like I said, you can either write this down or you can bookmark this for your use later, because I want to end this at 9:30. So the fruits I want you guys to start off to include in your diet. 1, strawberries. Make sure they're in season. This is not the season for strawberries. Don't even bother with it. Same thing for cherries. Oh my God. Let me tell you something. When cherries are really in season, they are very expensive, but I don't care. That is something where I will go for is cherries. It is very therapeutic, very healing. I can't tell you how medicinal cherries are for killing cancer cells. So all of you should really look forward to cherry season to come around and just save your money for them. I am not going to lie. They are going to be expensive. And do not buy anything but organic cherries. Okay? So the blackberries, the apples, the blueberries, lemons, pears, raspberries, goji berries, and lime. This is the fruit I also want you guys to not eat so much of. But the bananas, people are eating too many bananas. And I'm against that. You should eat bananas and pineapples in moderation. Lord have mercy. I don't know why people are having this debate about pineapples on pizza. What is wrong with you guys? All right. The thing about fruit is this. When you cooked fruit, it is nothing but a sweet item now. You have killed the enzymes in that fruit. The fruit is no longer able to metabolize itself. When you eat fruit that has like raw fruit, let me explain. If you eat an apple, just a raw apple, that apple will go inside your stomach. It doesn't need the digestion of the pancreas or the insulin or the enzymes from the pancreas. It has its own enzymes. Hence why when you cut an apple in half, what happens? It starts to turn brown within a couple of seconds. Well, that's how it happens in your stomach. When you chew it and you mix it with the saliva and it goes into your stomach, okay, it only stays into the stomach like 5 to 10 minutes, if that much, right? And then it digests itself through the digestive system. When you eat this raw fruit with other foods, you have slowed down its digestive process, and it will putrefy and rot in the stomach, and therefore it is going to be worthless as far as nutrition is concerned. So when you start having a raw apple, that's how it is. You eat a raw apple by itself on an empty stomach. But if you cook apple pie, if you have apple pie, that is nothing but just a straight up sweet substance because you have killed it. Now, I'm not saying it's bad. What I'm saying is that it's not the same. When you cook the fruit, you killed the enzyme, and it's just nothing but, to me, just nothing but a starchy item. Just a sweet starchy. Let me just say it's a sweet starchy item. It's like baked potato with a whole bunch of sugar in it. Okay? There's the apples within that pie no longer have active enzymes, doesn't have natural, the nutritional value has been cooked out of it. It's just a dud. It's just something that you mix with sweet. It's just turned into a sweet item now. So it's not the same. And it can, It will last long as a starch. So when you have all these bananas, okay, understand that you're overdoing it based upon how you cooking it. If you're cooking a banana, if you have a banana pudding and all the other stuff, I think people go overboard with the bananas as far as I'm concerned. I'm not that fruit. I don't have that fruitarian mindset. I believe fruit is here to cleanse and vegetables here to build. I have that mindset. It has never let me down. Once again, let me explain again. Fruits are here to cleanse. Okay, they all have nutrients in it, and basically vegetables are here to build, to bring in the high levels of nutrients. You find that your fruits are heavy in your vegetables. Excuse me. You find your fruits are heavy in your vitamins. Your fruits are high in your vitamins, where your vegetables are high in your minerals. So be careful with too many bananas, and be careful with too many pineapples. The oranges and the melons and the mangoes, especially mangoes. Oh my God, man. I am getting thirsty. I'm getting so hungry just thinking about this stuff. Mangoes should also be eaten in season. Okay, now let's go to the vegetables. I want to talk about the variety of vegetables that you should definitely have into your diet. Asparagus. Asparagus is very good for the kidney. It's very good for the urinary tract system. Brussels sprouts also. Celery. Celery, there's so many things about celery. Is very good for also diabetics, but it's also good for people who have high blood pressure. Believe it or not, celery juice would lower your blood pressure. So you all should learn how to deal with celery and eat that. Yes, you can eat celery sticks with peanut butter, or celery sticks with hummus is very good for you. Okay. All right, so we got your wheatgrass, your barley grass. These are really good things. Mustard greens are delicious. Why? Because they're very heavy and dense in your nutrients. What did I say about iceberg lettuce? Iceberg lettuce is a waste of time. Don't even bother with iceberg lettuce. Stick with your lettuce that are heavy in greens, that have a heavy color. Same thing goes with parsley, spinach, water chestnuts. Okay, you're going to go through that. Add a little bit of color, because believe it or not, a variety of colors in your salad and your vegetable intake has high antioxidants, like your bell peppers. Okay, you have so many various different bell peppers, your beets. Okay, onions, you have your sweet Vidalia onions, and then of course my favorite onion is the purple onion. I love purple onions. That's going to be my favorite onions to use. I will always use those. Collard greens, garlic. I am right now taking I got a confession again. I am right now taking advantage of not being around people and not being in a relationship. Okay. And while I'm in this phase, I am eating nothing but a bunch of garlic. Because I am like, I got to build my immune system up. And now I think my body finally gets it, because oh my God, I can't tell you guys how healing foods are, because I've been doing a whole lot of garlic. Do you know, like I had scraped my arm on a nail. I was outside fixing the damage for some stupid squirrel made on my house, and I had no idea that it was a nail on the side of that board, and it made a very big dent, scratch on my arm, about 1.5 inches long. Of course, I had to like go and put some peroxide on after I rinse it off and blah, blah, blah. I was like, man, this is going to take a while to heal. No, like it healed within 5 days, and 2 weeks later, you can barely see the scratch. And I said to myself, well, what the heck? How did that heal so fast? And then I had to think about it. It's all that garlic I'm eating. It's all the garlic I'm eating. Now, I'm also balancing the garlic with parsley, because if you're going to do this as much as the garlic as I'm doing, you have to also do parsley. But I understand that this is a short-term thing, because once I start being interactive with people again, the garlic stops or it goes into moderation. So I just want to show you that just how powerful garlic is. Now, a cut like that would take about 2.5 months for it to be, for it not to be seen anymore. But it took less than like 2.5 weeks, if that many. So I was like, wow, this stuff is really powerful. I want you to start including a lot of kale. Like I said, we're dealing with some very wonderful greens. And this is another thing you can do with kale. You can make kale chips. I did a video. I uploaded a video about the dehydrator for kale chips. I deleted that video because I was like, I need to do an updated version on how to make kale chips. And I think I'm going to do that on a later time. So that's the reason why I deleted that video. I thought it was out of date and I needed to update it. Olives, sprouts, zucchini, broccoli. You guys know some of y'all love broccoli. I love broccoli myself. Same thing with cauliflower. I told you I'm a big lover of cucumbers. Cucumbers have a lot of water in it too. So that's another reason you should deal with it. Ginger. I have a video dedicated to ginger. Definitely do that. Your mushrooms and sea vegetables. Don't underestimate sea vegetables like kelp. Ladies, kelp should be your best friend. Same thing with seaweed, okay? Same thing with Irish moss. These things are very nutritious for you, okay? Another thing we're going to deal with when it comes to vegetables, we're dealing with artichokes, which is kind of complicated. I don't deal with artichokes at all, really, unless stuff on pizza, because it's too tedious to cut into it, all right? You're going to do, let me tell you something, okra. Oh, God. If you want to make your colon smile, I suggest including okra into your diet. That is a Southern food I am in love with. My favorite thing is making an okra stew. And okra stews are so easy. All you have to do is take a natural tomato paste that's in a glass jar, okay? Mix some water in there, put some onions, parsley. Let's see, what I put in there? Onions, parsley, mushrooms, and then I add the okra last. I don't thoroughly cook the okra, so what I do is I make sure that the water is nice and hot. I mean, the stew is nice and hot, and then I add the okra. I want that okra to be as raw as possible because I want it that it's just so delicious. And I'm telling you, this is another thing that's good for diabetics as well as people who have high blood pressure. Okra, okra, okra. Thank the South for introducing me to okra. I am hooked. Same thing with carrots. Love your carrots, leeks. And when it comes to tomatoes, I must warn you guys, the tomatoes must be GMO free. If you are fair skinned and you suffer from a lot of sunburns, tomatoes should be your best friend. I have had someone who was, poor thing, was from Norway, wasn't used to all this hot sun here in the South, and he was afraid of getting skin cancer, which is very prevalent in people with very fair skin, especially if you're Scandinavian. And I said, listen, this is what you do. Here's a natural, I was telling him a way of making a natural sunscreen that doesn't deal with chemicals. And then I tell him tomatoes should be your favorite friend. Okay. It should be the number one thing you consume a lot of because it's going to give you the beta carotene in that is going to really protect your skin. And carrots as well. Carrots and tomatoes should be your favorite thing. There was a lot of diet in it. And he was so amazed that it took him like 2 months later and he was out in the sun longer than he anticipated. And he was like, oh no, I know I'm going to burn. I know I'm going to blister. And when he got inside and he looked at his face, it was just a little red, but there was no flaking in his skin. There was no blisters and it didn't hurt to the touch. He was amazed that just food could do that to you. Foods are healing. Okay. And last but not least, let's talk about carbohydrates. I don't talk about them often, but I'm going to talk about them now. I cannot believe it's 9:30, guys. I meant to stop at 9:30. So I have so much wealth in there, but this is the last thing I'm going to talk about. When it comes to carbohydrates, case, I deal with your high carbs, carbs that are very healing for you. Okay. Very healing for you. Like what? Quinoa, barley, buckwheat, brown rice. Some people can't digest brown rice, but it's just up to you. And steel cut oats. Steel cut oats. If you're going to consume oatmeal, you got to make sure it's not that stupid, nasty, quick oats that you can cook in within 1 minute. You should make sure it's the nutrients, high fiber, high nutrient based steel cut oats. These are going to be good for you. Okay. So that's the kind that I want you to more and less get to. Okay. All right. I know I went through a lot. Oh my God. I am just like, this video is supposed to only be for an hour and a half, and I still have more to teach you. So like I said, I'm back active on this channel, more for me than for you. Because, what do they say? You have to practice what you preach. Well, I stopped preaching this, and therefore I stopped practicing it. And so I need to get back to preaching it so I can go back to practicing it. And you get the benefit because you get to learn along the way. What I'm going to do, beloved, is I'm going to start having more live streams like this where we have a Q&A, where we have you interact with me as well. But also just make sure you pass the word, subscribe to this channel. I'm going to revive this channel and start giving out more information because, like I said, I think that's what went wrong with me, is that when I got into the political aspect of my career, I just totally forgot all about this lifestyle, and my body just went kaput. It was just whatever. Da-da-da. So that's that. So this week you will see a lot of videos. Next Sunday, here we go. Next Sunday, I will do another stream, another nutritional stream. And from now on, all my nutritional streams will be at 8 o'clock. Now, will they be at every Sunday? We'll see. I'll see how that works, but that's how it's going to be from now on. So, beloved, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so glad you all showed up and watched this live stream. It's going to take a lot of work to get it back to where it used to be, but I'm all here for it. So look forward to more videos. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell so you get notified whenever I go live or whenever I upload a nutritional video. And I'm going to start having some downloadable with these classes. I'm going to have some downloadable material that comes with it. Okay. All right. With that being said, you all have a beautiful day and enjoy your Sunday, and I'll see you all next time. Peace and blessings.